A B D do B D da boo dee 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 do B D da boo do 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 do.
It's like 5:30 on a Friday afternoon. I've finished work and I'm in like Eddie Rockets on South Ann Street, wrapping my face around a classic burger with like bacon and cheese fries while catching up on the papers. Tony Ward thinks Ireland are going to kick arse against France tomorrow, and with the form Brian O'Driscoll's in, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people are wondering whether I'm like jealous of how things are going for that dude right now, but I say fair fox to him, even though it could, and a lot of people would say should, be me out there. Just as I'm thinking this, right, I notice this bird, think Delta Goodrum, except even nicer, staring at me from the other side of Eddie Rockets. She's like writing something down at the same time, but she keeps looking up, copping an eyeful of the Rossmeister General here, obviously thinking, I can't stop looking at that guy, even though he's obviously way out of my league, then looking down again as soon as I catch her eye. Of course, I can't be content with just being adored from afar. I have to go over. I'm like, hey, playing it uber fucking cool. Oh, hi, she goes, looking up, all embarrassed. I could be wrong, but I think she's actually American. I'm there, I couldn't help but notice that you were giving me loads there, as in staring at me. I'm really, really sorry, she goes. I was actually drawing you, and she pushes a piece of paper across the table at me, and it is an actual picture of me. I'm there, that's pretty good, although I think I'm probably a bit more muscly on top than you've drawn me, and she laughs, like she thinks I'm joking. I'm Shauna, she goes, offering me her hand. I shake it and I'm like, I'm Ross O'Carroll Kelly, and believe me, the pleasure is mine, laying it on like fucking peanut butter. I'm there, do you want to get out of here? Hoping she's over here on holidays and staying in, I don't know, the Westbury or some shit. She goes, hey, we could go to Stephen's Green. It's such a lovely evening. And even though it's not quite what I had in mind, I'm thinking, if I'm going to get in here, I'm going to have to play along with the whole romantic scene she's got going on in her head. Of course, at this stage, I haven't quite copped that there's something not quite right about Shauna. I go, okay, let's hit the green then. And I stand up, and she stands up at exactly the same time, and something, I don't know, maybe some voice in my head tells me to look down, which I do. And that's when I realize, and everyone in Eddie Rockets realizes, that Shauna is wearing fucking rollerblades. I don't actually believe it. I pulled a bird on wheels. Where are you going? She goes as I put my head down and head off in the direction of Dawson Street. I'm the, Stephen's Green? She's like, hello, the green is this way? She flicks her thumb in the direction of Grafton Street. But there is no way in this fucking world I'm going to risk being seen with her like that on Grafton Street. I still have a reputation in this town. So I carry on walking, but of course she's faster on her feet than I am. And suddenly she's like skating circles around me, going, come on, come this way, grabbing my hand and pulling me in the direction I don't want to go. And there's nothing I can do short of spinning her around a few times and fucking her through the window of Pia Bang Home. So I let myself get dragged onto Grafton Street. It's like 5:45 on a Friday evening, and all of the shops and businesses are starting to empty out. Town is fucking rammers. I'm thinking someone is going to see me here. My heart is in my mouth the whole way up Grafton Street. Shauna's like holding my hand and performing, I don't know, pirouettes and all sorts of fucking tricks that are drawing a lot of eyes in our direction. She's also going at the top of her voice, hey, I'm crazy. All my friends say, but that's Shauna. She's wild. There's something seriously wrong with this bird, as in the wheel is still turning, but the hamster is dead. We're standing at the pedestrian lights opposite the Grafton Street entrance, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to tell her that I'm going to time her doing circuits of Stephen's Green, then I'm going to fuck off the second she's gone. The road is like cobbled, right? Which means she has to like walk rather than skate across. I'm holding her hand and I'm walking pretty fast, it has to be said. And that's when I hear what would have to be described as a sharp scream behind me. I turn around and that's when I discover that Shauna has got one of her skates caught in the fucking Lewis line. The whole evening is turning into a nightmare. And I swear to God, it's like it's never going to end. So suddenly she's down on one knee and she's trying to free the wheels from the track. But whatever way she stepped on it, they've like clicked in there pretty securely. So she can like move the skate up and down the rail, but she can't pull the thing out. But now she's starting to panic because it's like rush hour and those trams are like every 7 minutes or some shit. Just take the skate off, I go, pretty aware of the fact that she's drawing a lot of heat on us here. I can't, she goes. They were a present from my mom. And I'm there, she's going to be burying you in them if you stay here. People are starting to gather around us, and I have to tell you, I'm not enjoying the attention. All of a sudden, some Lewis worker comes pegging it down the road towards us, going, "Out of the way, everyone, let me through, let me through." The first thing he does is he gets on the radio and tells, I don't know, whoever, to stop all northbound trams on the Green Line until further notice. Then he gets down on his hunkers and starts trying to free the skate from the track. And all the time, Shauna's telling him, whatever happens, I am not taking them off. I look around. There must be like 70 or 80 people gathered around us. And of course, the more people that gather, the more people suddenly get interested. I'm trying to look like I'm not actually with her, catching various people's eyes, good-looking birds in other words, and throwing my eyes up to heaven. Someone mentions the fire brigade, and I'm suddenly thinking, if this ends up being the funny little item on the end of the 6-1 news tonight, I'm gonna have to fucking emigrate. I'm standing there thinking, I must just take a couple of steps backwards here and like melt into the crowd, when all of a sudden the Lewis guy stands up and looks at me and goes, "You're gonna have to push her." I'm like, "Excuse me, say that again?" He's like, "Push her, if she won't take the skate off." I'm like, "Where the fuck am I pushing her?" "Do not say Dundrum Shopping Centre." "Peter's Place," he goes. "It's only about a mile. Left at the top of Harcourt Street, then right again. That's where the track goes over ground again. She should just slot out there." I'm there, no way, fuck that. Except Shauna's suddenly going, "Ross, you can't leave me here," playing to the fucking crowd. Suddenly they're all on her side, telling me in no uncertain terms that they will lynch me if I even attempt to walk away from her. I turn to the crowd and I go, "Can we get one thing straight here? She's not even my bird. I only pulled her like 5 minutes ago and straight away I was having second thoughts." But it makes no difference. So what else can I do except put my hands under Shauna's arms and help her to her feet, and then with my 2 hands on her arse and her standing on one leg, start pushing her towards the top of Harcourt Street. Of course, the crowd decides to follow us then. And now that the immediate danger of her getting killed by a fucking tram has passed, they're all beginning to see the funny side of it. They're all cracking their holes laughing as I push Shauna past Shanahan's and as far as the traffic lights just outside the aircon building, which as it happens are fucking red. "Do you stop at Windy Harbour?" some fucking smart arse shouts from the side of the road. And I'm going, I can't actually believe I'm doing this. If it wasn't for this crowd, I would be so out of here. I don't even care what you look like. And Shauna tells me I'm an asshole, which I can live with. The lights go green and I start pushing her again. And as we're crossing the junction onto Harcourt Street, she starts going, "Look both ways, look both ways," which like a fucking idiot I do. I hadn't actually realised that Harcourt Street was so uphill. And we're not that far up it when I start to feel it in my back. So I stop, and of course, not one of the 100 or so people following us offers to take over. They're all too busy laughing their holes off. A southbound tram passes on the other track, and the driver shouts something out of the window, which I don't hear, but it makes everyone laugh. So I end up just giving him the finger, and he drives on. Slowly, I might add, just to make sure everyone on board gets a good fucking eyeful. We pass Copperface Jack's, and I'm thinking, that's where I'm going to go to pull in future. At least you know what you're getting in there. I can't say this is any better than being with somebody from the country. For some reason, I start thinking about that scene in like the Bible when that dude helps Jesus carry the cross up the hill with all the other people following them, abusing them and ripping the piss. "What's this?" some fucking wisecracker shouts on the side of the road. "Transport cutbacks." And I turn around to Shauna and I just happen to mention that this better be worth all the effort. She asks me what I mean by that. I go, as in, you know, later. She suddenly goes, "Oh my God," pretty much spitting the words out and almost losing her fucking balance in the process. She looks at me over her shoulder and goes, I have no intention of going to bed with you. I don't know what kind of a girl you think I am. So it's there, 3/4 of the way up Harcourt Street, just outside Little Caesars, that it's time for me and Shauna to say goodbye. And I don't care what anyone thinks. I turn around to the crowd and I go, "You all heard that, I presume?" And then, and I'm pretty proud of this, it has to be said, I go, "I'm afraid this is my stop."